Hey, it's Benjie Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio, welcoming you to another edition of People of Distinction. The talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, peopleofdistinction.org, for more info, or you can email me directly at benji@alcoleenterprises.com. And on the line with us today, we have Godo. We'll be discussing her new book, Looking for the Fire Bull, La Paz Patron's Fair, available at Amazon.com. And Godo was brought to People of Distinction today by some of the best movers in the business, Parchment Global Publishing. If you have a book that you'd like moved, move it through Parchment. You can find them at parchmentglobal.com. You know, guys, listen, I am so excited to have Godo here on the line with us because, you know, the book that we're going to be discussing, and really the book that we're going to be focusing on first, but then we also have a separate title that we're going to bring up briefly that she has written as well. I mean, listen, they're both children's books, but really what's amazing about the book and what's amazing, you know, about both narratives is they're both bilingual stories, right? So right off the bat, educational children's books. So they're going to be fun. It's going to be a great ride for you to take with your kids. But again, at the same time, it's educational because it has that bilingual tendency to it, right? And that is something that I think is so creative and an absolute delight to have here on the line. And, you know, really the first book that we're going to be primarily focusing on is Looking for the Fire Bull. Not only is that one going to be bilingual, but it's also going to be related to Godo's home country, okay? It's really going to be bringing awareness to her home country of Honduras, right? And again, educational, such a fun ride. And without further ado, we have her here on the line with us. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. Godo, thank you so much for being a guest with us on People of Distinction. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we are looking forward to this so much. So without further ado, you know, let's start off. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, first and foremost, I mean, we know, as I just stated, your home country is Honduras, but, you know, talk to us about your upbringing. Did you always want to be a writer? How did you embark upon this creative journey? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born in Honduras and I studied at the American school. And then when I went to Longwood University to get my library science degree. And after that, I started living abroad in Africa, in the Middle East, in Asia, and now in Mexico. But while living in Qatar, I wanted to start writing. I think I had more time for myself. And I wanted to start writing and doing things that I loved, and it was telling stories. So it all started in Qatar.
That is absolutely incredible. Just hearing all the places that you traveled to, and that's inspirational in its own right. I've been very fortunate in my later years, not so much when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, I've been able to kind of do a little bit of traveling of my own. And whenever I hear anybody that has gone to multiple countries in the way that you just explained, it's always something that I find fascinating. And, you know, hopefully maybe at another time we'll actually be able to sit down and discuss some of those experiences, because I'm sure you have stories for days. So let's move on. Let's go right into the book. Okay, Looking for the Fire Bull, La Paz Patron's Fair. Talk to our listening audience. Tell us what the book is about.
The book is about the county fair of my hometown. So I had a very happy childhood. I spent my childhood in Tegucigalpa and La Paz. And my memories are alive. And I can still feel everything that happened to me when I was a little girl. And I think that's what I want to share, a little bit of my happiness.
Beautiful. So it's taken directly from your personal experiences, right? And something that, okay, listen, what better thing to talk about than something that we've experienced, right? Something that you've experienced, you've actually gone through. So a lot of times when I find fictional narratives, and the ones that I gravitate towards the most are definitely the ones that are steeped and grounded in realistic circumstances. So that is fantastic. And again, as I stated before, educational for anybody who has never been to Honduras. Now, we know about the book. Talk to me about the title. It's such an intriguing title. How did you develop that creatively and bring that into fruition?
Well, it wasn't going to be that title, but then I was thinking it has to be something that attracts people, and it was something that had to be like it has action. And
Mm-hmm.
looking for the fireball, you have to look for something, and all through the book you are looking for the fireball. So it's like intriguing. So I liked it.
Absolutely. Now, this may be a dumb question, but listen, let me ask it and put myself on the spot that way. Now, specifically, the fire bull, is that something that actually has cultural relativeness to the country of Honduras, or is that something that you just created yourself?
No, no, no. It's part of the activities of the county fair. It's that one of the last activities because there are many activities, but the fireball comes out at the end of the story and at the end of the day. And everyone waits for the fireball, and it's very, very scary.
Thank you very much for clarifying that. Now, let's talk about your inspiration. We know, of course, what inspired you for this book is, again, to bring education to your home country. Beautiful. We have that. What inspired you to be a writer, and really embark upon this creative journey?
Well, I think in my case, I want to speak for the good Hondurans. I want the world to
Mm-hmm.
know that we have amazing people. And I also think it is important to share our traditions with the world, especially in my case, that I'm always traveling from country to country. Children, they love it when I start talking about Honduras. And I really like to share our traditions and culture.
Well, listen, you talk about wanting to talk about, the good people from your country. And if you are any example of the people that you're talking about, I mean, it's very easy to tell that there are so many good people there. You sound absolutely incredible from the discussion that we're having right now, the pre-screening call leading up to this, the research that I did on your book. I mean, it all sounds absolutely wonderful, and you sound like an amazing individual. Guys,
Thank you.
you are very welcome. Guys, again, here on the line with Godo, we're discussing her book, Looking for the Fire Bull, La Paz Patron's Fair, available on Amazon.com. And, as we continue moving on, a curious question that I have is really, so this book and also the next title that we're going to quickly discuss, they're both children narratives. So and those are the two books that you have published. What inspired you specifically to write children's books?
Well, I think I work with children. As I told you before, I'm a librarian
Mm-hmm.
and I work with children and I love telling them stories. And it's very natural in me to tell stories because it comes from my father. He was an amazing entertainer and I learned from him. Every word that he said, every pause that he made, every intonation for the words. So I love that and I love being with the little kids.
That's fantastic. Learning about this inspiration that you had from your father and the way that he would tell stories, and how that kind of stuck with you over the years, I think is so incredible. To really write what you're passionate about. Next question that I have is specifically as we kind of finish up discussing Looking for the Fireball. What would you say is the central underlying message about this book, and really what you want our audience members here at People of Distinction to know about this title?
I would like the people to know that we have amazing people in Honduras.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to share Honduras with the people. I want to share the good Hondurans with the people. I think all our housemaids, farmers, tortilla sellers, mail carriers, nurses, so many more, they all have a story, and every single one of them deserves our respect and admiration.
I mean, it sounds like it's a celebration for the hardworking people of Honduras, and
Yes,
you know you-
absolutely.
you're definitely doing everybody justice by orchestrating this book and bringing it to our table. And this is something that really everybody should know about and learn more about. Now, As we close that one, let's move on to the second title that you have here, that you've written as well, that actually you just completed, correct?
Yes, yes.
All right. Now, the second one is called the Tortilla Cellar. Talk to us a little bit about that one.
The tortilla seller is something that happened to me, and it was a one day one tortilla seller came to my house and to sell her tortillas, and she told me, "Please, please buy them. If I don't sell them, my mom is going to get very angry." So that's the reason why I wanted to write the book, because the children do not go to school because they need to sell their tortillas in order to live. So you will see our social problems in the book, how the children do not attend school, how the mother, she's a single mother, she's carrying another baby,
Mm-hmm.
and how the little girl is always worried to help her mother and always desiring to go to school.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like such an inspirational story there, right? And so authentic at the same time, right? Which, again, I think is so admirable how you're writing a children's story, but at the same time, again, it's very educational and it's real, right? It's raw.
Yeah.
It's definitely a relatable concept because it's something that here in the States, we also have a lot of people that go through similar circumstances where education, unfortunately, has to take a back seat to helping the family financially, because that, of course, is more important in the moment there. So that is wonderful, again, that you're bringing that to the table. Now, what I think is wonderful also is both of these books are bilingual. Now, talk to me about, was there a specific intent by doing that, or was it just something also that you're like, well, this is another aspect to bring into the book? Why did you decide to make both of your books bilingual?
Well, I am used to I told you, like, I went to the American school, so I am used to
Mm-hmm.
reading English, and I have worked for many American schools abroad. So I want everyone to read them. So English is the language, and many people read in English and others read in Spanish.
So it's all about that inclusiveness, right? Really making sure that everybody can kind of partake in this journey that way. Fantastic. Guys, again, here on the line with Godo, we just finished discussing Looking for the Firebull, La Paz Patron's Fair. Also, we discussed her second title, The Tortilla Cellar, both available on Amazon.com. Godo, capping everything off, we spoke about the other two titles. What's next for you?
Next for me is The Lady in Heels. It is an anecdote of something that happened to me more than 20 years ago, and it is about how we all have a purpose in life, regardless of our appearance, of who we are, or where we are.
You know, what I find incredible, about this, in addition to everything that we've already said, is it's such a fun ride. I mean, these journeys that you're talking about, and you approach it in such a creative way. And I think that lends a lot of credence to you as an author. And we thank you for that. And thank you for bringing that to our table here at People of Distinction. But what I also love to do when I have all of my authors here on the line is, being an artist myself, I love to be able to have a platform where I'm able to utilize this to help other artists as well. And someone, again, in your position, you've traveled the world, you've experienced so much, and you've also published 2 books. So I'm sure the journey is going to continue, right? And you're going to continue to write and put out more books. But as of right now, you've definitely accomplished so much already. If there was some advice, Godo, that you can give to a newer writer, someone just starting out, and things to expect and things to prepare for, what would that advice be?
Well, I think that we need to keep on dreaming. We need to dream, and we need to be faithful for our dreams, because the stories, they are in our minds. And many people can give you suggestions, but keep your dreams and get attached to them and be faithful to them. If they come out with mistakes, no problem. And one thing that I really recommend, you really need to desire it. You really need to have the need to write. And forget about the competition. Forget about who's going to do it better or worse. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you need to be very original and very, very like natural when you tell the story.
Mm. Wow, just so much there. And I couldn't have pictured a better way to close off this interview. I mean, guys, what is more human than that? I mean, we're talking specifically about obstacles that new and young writers are going to come across, but really, I mean, isn't that that's life, right? I mean, she's talking about, it's just about practice. Practice makes perfect, and you just have to go and you have to do it. And so many times in life, I think we get caught comparing ourselves to other people, and we get caught looking at things that other people have achieved or other people have received, and it makes us look negatively on our own circumstances. And at the end of the day, you just have to go, and you just have to write it, and you can't lose that imagination, right? Godo put it so wonderfully when she said, you have to be dreamers. I absolutely love it. Godo, thank you so much for this. Guys, one last time. We just finished discussing Looking for the Fireball, La Paz Patron's Fair. And then we also have her second title, The Tortilla Cellar, both available on Amazon.com. Do yourself a favor. Get out there and pick up each one of these titles, because you are sure to absolutely learn something. You're sure to go on a fantastic, a magnificent journey right alongside with Godo. So whether you have kids or you know someone that does, it's a perfect gift all around. Get out, grab a copy of these books. Godo, thank you so much for being a guest with us on People of Distinction.
Thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you.